green unless I do this. Now I can see that they're blue. But if I do this and I couldn't see myself on the camera, I wouldn't know what color they are, right? Because I'm just going. And that's part of life is like we're designed in an environment in the world to do this and just to, you know, go.
Mhm.
So that's part of what I think is really impactful about this challenge.
Yeah, wow. Uh, I want to also bring up the the part when you're talking about, because there's a line between the mental toughness, the holding yourself accountable, and then
Mm,
there's that line of when do I be strict with myself and call myself out on my shit, and still when I mess up, I'm going to be kind to myself. And I know that you've
totally.
recently had a little bit of a breakthrough around that. Well, we were talking about it a couple weeks ago, I think.
Mhm.
Um, and what Tyler, our other brother, texted you, so as just a phrase. Do you
Oh,
remember what it was?
yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and just
That's
how that, if you want to talk about that, because I think that that's something that people are going to have a lot of struggles with, is first being able to be hard on yourself. And I think that once you get that aspect down, which is what you had that down, then you started getting hard on yourself when there are times where you also need to just accept that I'm not perfect. I'm 26.
totally.
I'm going to make mistakes, and it's not always a mistake. So you could talk a little more about
Totally.
that if you want.
Totally. Yeah, no, that was a very profound moment for me. And what our brother Tyler said to me was, we were texting and I can't remember what we were texting about, but we were texting about some things that I was regretting. I was being hard on myself for. I was continuing to drive when I had a flat tire, to say the least. And Tyler texts me and says, "Oh wow, my brother's human."
He
And
says
instantly,
Hugh is human, right?
yeah, he
Yeah.
said, "My brother Hugh is human." Hugh
Mm.
is human, something like that. And Tyler playing jokes with my name and all that stuff. Story of my life. Um, that for me, like instantly, as soon as I saw that text, I went from like down here to like way up here past the spectrum. And at the end of the day, like that to Tyler was just him kind of not really giving me a hard time, but kind of just like, hey, Hugh, get your ass in gear here. And I think that that is a thing that is a part of a blind side as being a human. Like all it took for Tyler was to just crack a little joke at me and say, "Oh, Hugh's a human now. Like, oh, he's not this superhero." And it's like, you know what? You're right. I fucked up, and you know what? That's okay. And for me personally, I took it very hard until I saw that text, and then I was like, my whole mentality changed. Like it literally did a full like 180 to the other side of the spectrum, where I was on this side saying, Hugh, you're not doing what you should be doing. You know you can do better. You know you've done this in the past. You're capable of it. Why aren't you doing it? Blah 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 blah. Vicious cycle. Whereas like on the other side, Tyler's like, hey, my brother's a human. Like, dude, good job, man. Fuck it up again. You know what I mean? And it's like, holy. So that is a big thing around the the dynamic of your environment as well. And I know I'm touching on this a few times, and I want to because that's very important. Like I think part of your success, Carmen, and part of my success, and part of Tyler's success is the fact that the three of us have such a good quality relationship that we surround each other. Even though you're halfway across the world, we still spend an hour or two on the phone having conversations, whether it's I need support from you or you need support from me. We both have a different perspective and a different mentality, but again, at the end of the day, we're going towards the same end goal around, which I hope a lot of the people of your listeners are too, which is like, at the end of the day, like we want to strive for that greatness. We want to strive for being a better person and making impacts on other people's lives around us. And how can we, bring good into this world? And I think that that is something that can really shine when you're around those similar types of people. Because all it took was for my brother, and probably if you asked him the same question, he probably wouldn't even remember what the text was because to him, he was just kind of joking around and joshing me, right? And to me, it was very impactful because before I saw that text, I thought I wasn't human. I thought I was this superhero. I'm crushing 75 hard. I'm killing my workouts. I'm getting in shape. I'm getting a six pack. I'm eating healthy. I'm gaining weight. I'm gaining muscle. And I'm reading all these books and I'm doing business. And then on the other side, it's like, Now, because I'm not doing that, again, this is like that good versus bad, which is like, okay, if I'm not doing what that is, that thing, whatever it is for you, it's like, oh, well, you know what? I know I can do it. I'm not doing it. Well, I'm a human. So I can either choose to stay where I'm at, or I can choose to accept that that's the case. And what can I do moving forward to create a new environment for myself? And that's really, it's all a mental game. It's all about creating that environment, and that mentality is going to be the difference between, success and not success. Is really your choice. You get to choose if you're a successful person. I don't get to choose if you're a successful person. Your parents don't get to choose if you're a successful person. You get to choose that. And I chose in that day before that text that I was not a happy, successful person. And all it took was my brother to say, hey, dude, you're a human. Get over it. And I was like, oh, shit. You know what? I make mistakes. I miss my diets. I like to eat ice cream and candy. I like to go to parties. Even though I don't drink anymore, I still go to parties. In 1 month, it'll be a full year since I haven't drank, even when I was off 75 hard. And that's a whole nother can of worms as well to talk about. But I think that even though I can go in an environment of people drinking, I am still clear that I am not drinking. And that's okay for me. So that environment aspect I'm able to go into, but I'm very cautious. And it's not because I say anything about people or drinking, or like I don't look at other people that drink as like a lesser person or a negative thing. I just know for me that is not going to get me in my direction of my goal. And so I just choose not to drink. Am I going to never drink for the rest of my life? I don't know. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But I know that yesterday I didn't drink. And if I'm going to be better than I was yesterday, then I won't be drinking today. And so that's, again, that perspective that I've been using a lot around how can I just be 1% better than yesterday, right? Can I read 11 pages of my book instead of 10 just for fun one day? Let's see what happens, right? Like, let's just drink an extra 2 glasses of water, right? Or let's do one extra push up on every set that I do. And did I still do my 45-minute workouts? Yes. But yesterday I did 48 push ups, and today I did 49 push ups, right? And then tomorrow, hey, guess what? I went from 48 to 49 to 50. And now that 1% every day is going to get me up the ladder of starting down here and finishing up here. Now, the cool and interesting thing about, this dynamic of personal growth is that as soon as you get to here, there's going to be a new bar. There's always that next step. And if you get to the top, which I've done, I've gotten to the top. And in my opinion of what the top is around, let's say 75 hard, is I started eating ice cream, started eating candy. I only worked out once. I wasn't drinking as much water. And now I've got this huge leap to try and get back to that same spot. And other people in this world are going after your goals. You know what? I'm going to just tell you how it is. There's people out there that want to travel the world like Carmen, that want to sell houses like me, that want to have a good lifestyle, that want to have family, that want to have kids, that want to date a nice girl, that want to have a good man. Everyone wants that. And so the difference is am I going to let that person go after it? And am I going to stop myself from getting it? Or am I going to go after that? And am I going to grow towards getting my goals and growing to that success? Because as soon as I stop, I'm going to slowly get passed by the next person because they're going and I'm just staying neutral. So I'm actually going down, even though I'm just staying where I'm at, because the world's growing, technology, people are coming in and they want to take it. I'm going to tell you and everyone else of your listeners, someone is working right behind you to try and take it from you. And it's up to you to let them do it or not. And so that's something that I use for me personally. And it's a little bit of a perspective that it bites me in the butt, and I'm okay with that. Now, for some people, maybe that mentality doesn't work, but for me, that's why I like Andy Frisella. Is like, we as men personally, we need to be fighters, we need to be killers, we need to take action, and we need to be aggressive. Now, does that mean that you need to jump in someone's face and be like, give me your business? It's like, no, dude, chill out, man. Like, relax. Like, we're still humans here. Like, I'm not saying go out and jump in front of someone's face and say, hey, buy a house for me. But like, at the end of the day, if I don't pick up that phone, someone else is, right? If I'm not going door knocking, someone else is, right? And so I use that as a driving gas in my gas tank, right? Like, I'm fueling my energy by knowing that other people want this too. And there's a reason why people want it, because there is this mentality and there is this this lifestyle that everyone wants. But if everyone had it, it wouldn't be special, right? If everyone was a billionaire, it wouldn't matter to be a billionaire because everyone had it. There'd be no special aspect of it. If everyone had a six pack, it wouldn't matter to go do crunches every day because you just have a six pack. So what? I'll go eat pizza because I've already got a six pack, right? But if my workout every time I'm at the gym is I warm up with my core as my first 15 minutes to just my warm up instead of doing cardio or treadmill or something like that. I just do core because, I don't want to do a full 30, 45-minute workout of just core. It's like, it sucks. Nobody likes doing the core. But if I just do it for 10 to 15 minutes at the start of every workout, for 365 workouts, I've done core every time, right? And so it's like this compounding effect of a little bit here, a little bit there, and it's like it's just a snowball effect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it just made me think when you're talking about how, other people want these opportunities as well.
Yeah,
It just brought me a lot of gratitude. And I feel like
totally.
I'm constantly living in a state of gratitude, and I know that you are as well.
Mm, yeah,
That's something that we have, I think, just completely innate in ourselves that we've always had. We've always known how grateful and how lucky we are to have these opportunities of being
totally.
successful, of working on our minds and having just this self-actualization, just having that level of self-actualization. Not everybody has even that opportunity. Some people, and I live in the Philippines, so I see it. Some people don't even have their
Totally.
basic needs met. And for me, I have my basic needs and I have all of the Maslow's hierarchy of needs met so that I'm able to now be at the self-actualization, that transcendent level of taking my life to the next level. And I'm so grateful. And I'm not going to waste that opportunity. And it's like, I want the best
Totally.
for other people as well. So I know that in your market, it's a little different than mine. For what I'm doing, for my in my journey right now,
Yeah,
I want other people to come with me. And that's why I have this podcast. I want to share this with as many people. And I know that you do as well. And if I was to allow my compounded bad habits to, or
mm,
for, I missed a podcast episode the other week. I haven't even acknowledged that. I missed my first podcast for the first time since I started it 10 months ago. I haven't
mm.
acknowledged it, and I broke my commitment.
Until
And
now,
there you go. And I forgive myself, and I'm not going to be hard on it. But if I was to allow that to continue to happen, then that would be me not acknowledging the
mm,
opportunity that I have to make a difference in the world, and I would be essentially wasting this gift that I've been given.
totally. Yeah, and there's something really profound there as well. Is like, it kind of reminded me of what you were saying earlier, which is like, that aspect of like making a mistake and you learn from your mistakes and they don't have to be your own. So it's like there's this never ending cycle of, being a human, of like connection and like supporting other people and watching them grow from your mistakes. Is like it's like a vicious, like not even vicious is not the word I'm looking for, but it's like it's you're just drinking from the fountain of youth. Like when you're in a state of, for me, like when I'm at day 55, no, I would say a little bit before that. I would say probably like day 30 to 50 is when I'm like at my peak. My workouts are great. I'm waking up before my alarm. I'm slamming all my water before it's even lunchtime. And it's like that impact creates an environment that other people are drawn to, right? And so, Carmen, when you're out traveling the world and you're, changing people's lives, whatever field anyone's in, there's this growth that is like no other when you have that growth, not just for yourself, but for other people. And so when you can give that growth and see that happen with somebody else, it's literally like drinking from the fountain of youth. Like it just gives you more energy and more fire and more drive to continue. And you say, hey, wow, I did this thing. And this person just changed their entire life for the better because of it. What else can I do? What's the next thing I can do that can change someone else's life? Right. And it just fills you with this fulfillment and this passion to drive to the next goal and the next step and whatever area of fitness or healthy eating or alcohol. It really compounds. Like I'll use alcohol as an example. When I go out to parties and someone offers me a drink and I say no, they say, come on, just have it. I say, I don't drink anymore. Like And they're like, well, what? It's just one drink. And I said, in 1 month, it'll be a year. And then they're like, oh